Hello everyone, so today what we are going to do is install Cloudmesh client locally, and we'll try to connect to Chameleon Cloud and run a virtual machine on Chameleon Cloud. So first of all, I'll assume that you know how to set up a virtual machine using VirtualBox on Windows if you are running on Windows, and activate your virtual environment to install the requirements. So I'm not going to discuss these things in this video, and there are plenty of videos in our course website and our YouTube channel, so you can learn these things. And in addition to that, I also assume that you have enough knowledge in creating a SSH key, so we would need the SSH key in the middle in order to gain access to virtual machines. So let's go ahead and install the Cloudmesh client using pip. So the command is pip install -u Cloudmesh client. So let's go ahead. So what this does is like install all the required packages and get the latest update. So you can see the installed Cloudmesh client is 4.5.2, so this is the latest version of Cloudmesh. So let's go ahead and check whether Cloudmesh is installed locally. So just type cm and enter. So it will give this nice console. So it shows us that it's already installed, so press Ctrl C to exit that, and let's go ahead and try to do some configurations which is important in installing Cloudmesh. So you can go ahead, type emacs ~dot Cloudmesh /cloudmesh.yaml. So this is the file which is containing the configurations of Cloudmesh. So basically when you install Cloudmesh locally, this file is automatically generated, and we have to fill up some configurations in accordance with the login details and other things. So let's take a look at the file. So I will show you the file. So file is here. So if you go to the top, here you can find the first section that we have to edit. So this section is called the profile. So profile means like, as a user you have to have a unique identity in order to connect to the servers and set up basic requirements. So here you have to add your first name, last name, email, username. Basically, if you can just use the same username that you use to set up the Cloudmesh, it will be great. So it will be good. So this information is very important in order to set up Cloudmesh client and do the configurations really well. So this is the first section that you have to edit. So keep that in mind and replace these values with the relevant values. Basically, I have already edited this file. So if you get like install this for the first time, you will see the features like username, and in front of it will be like TBD. So you have to replace all these TBD values in this section, in this Cloudmesh profile section. So you don't need to add the location, browser, or username for this stuff. So it's not that much important. And the next important thing that you have to set up is the active or the default cloud. So here there's a section called active. So you have to set the same configuration as I have done here. You have to set it as chameleon. So what this theory is like, it uses chameleon as the default cloud and uses its configuration to run the virtual machine when you're trying to run these commands in future. So let's go ahead and go to the chameleon section in this cloud section. So here it is. So this is the next section that you have to like do the changes. So first of all, make sure the credentials sections is right. So here the OS of URL, it has to be the version 3. It has to be version 3, not version 2. And here in OS password, you have to enter your password right here. So this is what you have to do. This is not my password. You have to replace your password with this value. And next, go ahead with the other configuration. So let's consider these 3 parameters. So OS tenant name, OS tenant ID, OS project name. So it should be like ch818664. so you have to take these values and replace it here. So I already assume that you already have a Chameleon Cloud account. So if you go ahead and check your Chameleon Cloud account, you can see that you have been added to this project. So in case if you are not in this project, make sure that you make requests to TAs and professor to get yourself connected to the Chameleon Cloud project. So these are the features that you have added here. And at the username, so this is basically the username that you used for the Chameleon Cloud account. So when you're setting up, you might have used a username. You have to make sure that you have entered the correct username, correct password, and the URL. These features are very important. And also make sure the tenant name, tenant ID, and project name is correct. Okay, so these are the basic features that you have added in this section. So I originally did not show you my original Cloudmesh YAML file because it contains my password, but the configurations are same. So let's go ahead and try to do the rest of the things that we need to install Cloudmesh client locally and set up Chameleon Cloud so that we can boot a virtual machine at the end. So remember, the first section that you have to do is configure the Cloudmesh YAML file. It is located in this file location, and make sure don't do cd and go to the Cloudmesh folder and do the edit, because you have to make sure that you are in the right directory all the time. So just use the path like this to edit the file. You can use Emacs, Vim, or your favorite text editor. There's no problem. So make sure you have entered the right values for the profile. Replace all the TBD values in this profile section, and make sure you have entered all the important information like OS password, OS tenant name, OS tenant ID, OS project name, OS username in the Chameleon Cloud section. And also make sure you make Chameleon Cloud as the active one, as I've explained earlier. So let's go ahead and run the rest of the commands. So the next command is cm default cloud equals chameleon. So what this command does, it like it makes Chameleon as the default cloud. So if everything is fine, everything is like done really well, it shows that default cloud equals Chameleon. Okay, so everything is good to go. So let's run the next command. So the next command is cm-key add SSH. So in the beginning I told you we might need we may need SSH key. So I assume that you already know how to create a SSH key. So what this command is, it takes the locally created SSH key and it saves this key into the Cloudmesh database, which is created locally when you set up Cloudmesh. So go ahead and press enter. So if you have no idea about the way of creating a SSH key, you should be checking the videos in our YouTube channel, and then check out the information the course website, and make sure you have a SSH key already generated. So I have already generated a SSH key, so that same key is being added to the database. So let's go ahead and upload this key to the Chameleon Cloud. So CM key upload. So this might take a while, so depending on the network speed and everything, let's give it some time. Okay, so it shows that error problem uploading key vibhata to Cloud Chameleon key pair vibhata already exists. So this is not an error, but it shows that it cannot be uploaded because I have already uploaded this key to Chameleon Cloud. But when you're doing this for the first time, you'll be fine, and it will say that keys added to the Chameleon Cloud. So let's go ahead and run the next command. So if you have any problem in this stage, make sure you have done the configurations right, and make sure the username, password, and the URLs we have edited in the configuration file are correct. So let's go ahead and run the next command. The next command is we have to add the secure groups. So you don't have to do any special configurations to do this thing. So if you have replaced these TBD values in the profile section that I showed, the 4 parameters, and if you have added the Chameleon Cloud information correctly, this will work fine. So let's go ahead and run the command. So this will also take a while depending on the situation of the networks and everything, so let's give it some time. Okay, so after a while, so it shows you that info all completed. So basically it has uploaded the key and secure group and everything. So let's take a look at CM info by running this command. So it shows the cloud, the key, user, virtual machine name. So this is the virtual machine given to me at this moment. So the image, secure group default, and make sure there are no TBD values right here, because if there is any TBD value in any of these parameters, it would not be good for the next steps that we are following. So after running these commands, we have to do some other important thing. So we can always check the things that we did by using these list commands. So cm sec group list. So this will show the security groups created for us. So you can find the HTTP, SSH, ICMP, and HTTPS. These are the default groups that have been created for us. So you never did any serious configurations to get these things done. These things are implicitly done by the Cloudmesh. And also to keep everything updated, like the list, so it shows you the most updated thing, you can turn on the refresh like this. Okay, now refresh is on. So next important thing is like we have to run the next important command, cm vmboot. Let's see. So it shows your information, and it will take a while to boot the virtual machine, so we will give it some time depending on the network speed and traffic. It will take some time, and sometimes it will come real fast, so let's give it some time. Okay, so it shows you like these messages, and it's going to connect, so it shows these messages. So it finally shows info. Okay, so we're good to go. We have done the configurations right and the basic commands that we need to set up the virtual machine. And there's one important thing, and it's very important to know that we have to assign a floating IP before logging into the virtual machine. So we can do it by cmvm IP assign, and make sure that there are a limited number of floating IPs. So once you have created a virtual machine, you need to delete that after you have completed your task. So first of all, let's run this command. Let's see what is going to happen. So let's see, and you don't need to worry that much about these warning messages. And let's see what the output is. Okay, so now you can see that floating IP assigned to vPath 007 is your floating IP, and it shows info okay. So this means everything is good. And let's take a look at the VM list. The virtual list of virtual machines running on Chameleon Cloud in our project. So let's see whether my virtual machine is also running. So as I already said, don't worry that much about these warning messages. And you can see here we got the 007 active, and this is the floating IP, and Ubuntu, and the flavor Chameleon, and the date is here. So everything is good to go. Now let's run the next command to boot up the virtual machine. Okay, the next command is cmvm SSH. So here we run this command cmvm SSH, so it will run the basic configurations that we have already done. It will set up these IPs and try to connect to the local machine in the Chameleon Cloud. So it will use our floating IP to connect, and it is doing verifications, authentications based on the information that we added. So finally we get this screen, cc add your username and this machine address. So you can see that you are inside. You can create a directory, Cloudmesh, as you can see. So this is like a basic virtual machine. So you can exit it by running exit command. So basically these are the main things that we can do and accomplished in this tutorial. So we have already created a virtual machine, and you can see a virtual machine right here. So it will show you the virtual machine, and we have booted a virtual machine. So make sure you have the correct configurations in your configuration file in Cloudmesh YAML file, and also make sure there are no TBD values in this profile section and in the Cloudmesh section. So if you have set up everything perfect, these commands will run correctly. And also make sure that the version is 9.0.1 when you are doing this. So that's why we install everything using the -u sign, so it will install the most latest updates in every software and every package that we need to install Cloudmesh. So the next important thing is that when you run any task in these virtual machines, and if you do your task and running things completed. After you completing everything, you have to delete your virtual machine, so because there is only a limited number of floating IPs, so make sure you go ahead and delete the virtual machine that you have created. So in this case, my virtual machine is vibata007, so I'm going to delete vm delete vibata007 by using this command, and make sure you're not going to delete any other virtual machines. So let's go ahead. So here it is fine to delete the virtual machine, and VM record vibata007 is being deleted from the local database. So the virtual machine is not there. Let's check again. Let's see, sometimes it takes a while because of the network traffic and everything, and let's see what's going to happen now. So basically this command shows you the list of virtual machines running. Okay, now you can see there's no vibata007. So this is the correct way to execute and finish the things the correct way, because sometimes if you run many virtual machines, there will be a limited resources for other students to use the virtual machines in Cloudmesh in Chameleon Cloud. So make sure once you have done your job running your softwares and any other process, after doing your work, you have to delete the virtual machine because there is only a limited number of floating IPs. So these are the main things that we are going to discuss in this video tutorial. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it and got some information. So you can also check the course website to get the commands so that you can run them very easily. So I think information added in this video tutorial is enough to run Cloudmesh client locally and set up everything, and also make sure the profile section and cloud section is correct, and there are no TBD values in these sections. If you have replaced values with right and correct values like password, username, and URLs and project IDs, everything will be fine. So I hope you can install Cloudmesh locally and run a virtual machine. So the main goal of this video was to run a virtual machine on Chameleon Cloud. So see you next time. Thank you.